right. So, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I just finally got around to customizing a cardigan for myself, and I had a lot of fun. I used the orange, which is a lovely shade, and I cannot describe it. And there is no crayon that describes it properly either. So it's a very hard color to tell you because it's in a lighter orange, but it's not a pastel. But it's not a bright orange, neon, or it doesn't screaming orange. It's just a lovely orange. Anyway, so I got mine done, but what I did, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I made view C so it's longer, but I wanted it longer in the back, and I don't think I can get far enough away. But what I
Yeah.
did
One
was
more step.
one more step is I extended it to have the same shape as view A. So it has the longer in the back hem, but it's still the full C length. And then the other thing I did was I took the center front piece and I reversed it. So now it is the loop side of the French terry on the right side of the garment, just to give it a little more interest, something a little different. And then also it's a view C, but I use the view B sleeve. I kind of like the not having the cuff on some of them, and this one I could just roll it up and then get it out of the way when I'm working and don't want the sleeves in my way. So, anyways, that's mine, and it's the orange, and I just love it for summer. It's just a real bright, cheery color. And so I kind of used a little bit from view A, making the high low hem, a little bit from view B, using the sleeve, a little bit from view C, the length and the pockets, and then my own flipping the center front around to the wrong side. So that's what I did. And I just wanted to encourage everyone to, experiment and kind of play with the different views and mix up. If you like view C, but you like B sleeve, it works. They're all interchangeable.
And Monique says it looks good with your shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a purchase shirt, but got to buy some stuff once in a while.
But we do have great fabrics that go with the cardigan, and that's what she's typically wearing under her cardigan when I see you anyway. Is the
Well,
5 EZ T because you could have solids, prints,
right. And
the
we did, and I did do a newsletter last week
right.
about that and showed which of our, especially our Molto Bene, the Italian viscose, which ones went with this, and they would go with the orange as well as the pink. So that one down there, grab that one real
This
quick.
one?
Yep. And then there's the striped one as well. And you could go back and look in the newsletter or on the website. But this one will go with either the raspberry, which is what Brenda made hers, and she made this. But it also go with the orange just as nicely, or the black. And remember, we do have the French terry in the black. We kind of under publicize that, and that's a great option.
Oh yeah.
A great option. So, yep. And then we have lots of beautiful solid bamboos and rayon knits that would look great under it as well. Okay. So, was there any questions or comments about the Cardigan Express? I know I put in the newsletter this week a very nice comment from someone who was enjoying the access to the video and, being able to. One of the things that was mentioned was, the sew alongs were great and we all liked those, but with the actual ultimate pattern guide, which is the video for the cardigan, there's no interaction. So there isn't people asking questions. We're not stopping and
We're not
starting.
going off topic like we so
Yeah.
love to do.
Yes. We don't go off topic at all, I don't think. So, I'm hearing that people are really enjoying that. So we're getting ready to do another pattern with that same ultimate pattern guide. So then this week we also posted these beautiful lawns. And I know those of you who have been with us for the last few years, we introduced lawns about 3 or 4 years ago to go with our Islander shirt kit. And we had some beautiful lawns. We had Japanese lawns. We had wonderful lawns, and we still have a few of those left that are Hawaiian. But this year, because I was working really hard to source cottons that did not come from China, and I'll explain that in a minute, I found these lawns, and they're not 45 inches wide like all the other lawns. These are 56, 58 wide, and they're more reasonably priced. So by the yard, they're cheaper, and the yard is wider, so you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. So if you haven't seen today's newsletter, you're going to see one of those lawns made up in our Islander shirt. And what's really interesting about this one is that our apprentice made this. Now, our apprentice is Michelle. And Michelle was a Facebook Tuesdays at 2 fan for quite a while. And she doesn't live far from us. So when we were looking for someone to help us make samples, we put the word out, and she answered. So this is the first one she's made. She made one of the children versions first just to get her feet wet. But look how beautifully she was able to match the pocket. Yes, there is a pocket here.
Definitely not showing up that far away. Yeah.
So there is a pocket here.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but anyways, this lawn is just beautiful. And again, when you work with lawns, you need to use a very fine thread. Why do you need to use a finer thread than usual? Because the threads that make up a lawn are finer than the threads that make up your basic cotton fabrics. So they're finer, and they're compact, they're tightly woven, but they have this wonderful fluidity, and they breathe. So they're extremely cool. You won't find a cooler fabric to wear. And I know they have all these new fabrics they say that they have created that are cooling fabrics that make you cool. They're synthetics, and maybe they cause a cool to the touch, but there's still no breathability. These are going to breathe, which means you're not going to have a lot of perspiration to worry about. And the breeze is just going to go right through almost as if you weren't wearing anything. So for really warm weathers, vacations to tropical places and things, the lawn is the key. So I bought 10 of them, and 5 of them are in the Islander shirt kit because they definitely work for that particular garment. But there are additional ones that would work really good for many other things, nightgowns, sundresses, camp shirts, all kinds of things. So take a look at the entire collection. But we're really excited because we were able to pass on a great bargain.
Yeah.
And these lawns are from Brazil. And
So right before you get into that, though, because I know where you're going, and you're talking about you could use it for different things. Connie is wondering if you could use the lawn for CS 1302, the princess blouse.
absolutely, absolutely, yes. You could turn that blouse. Well, you can use lawns for a long sleeve blouse. We did that with the Everybody's. Remember with the sew along? I was working with a lawn, that one we made custom made for Brenda. So yes, you can use lawn for other than summer wear even, but it is a really light and easy to wear.
Yeah, and when you're talking about like all these new cooling fabrics and stuff like that, a lot of the times those are really related to sports and working out and all this stuff, and it just does not translate to this beautiful prints and
Yes.
like the way it hangs and the touch and the feel. Now if
Hmm.
you need to run a marathon,
That's different.
you're not gonna probably want to do it in this. You're
Yeah.
gonna want your moisture wicking Under
Oh,
Armour
sure,
or
wicking. Yeah,
whatever, the cooling this and that. But to hang out on a nice summer day and still look fashionable, you'll want your lawn.
that's true. But again, consider sundresses and nightgowns because it's fabulous for that as well. And at the price point this is, I mean, it's great because you only need 2 yards to do just about anything when it's that wide.
Yeah, and okay, Joni is asking to go to questions. She's new from for Tuesdays at 2, and we have talked about this before, especially in our sew-alongs with the lawn. But she's asking if you want different thread, what weight do you recommend for the
You want
lawn?
like a 50 weight. So your basic construction thread is a 40 weight. And oh, let me think. Yes. The numbers go up, but the weight goes down. It's very confusing
Yeah.
because in the industry, it's measured exactly the opposite. So it's very confusing for me to try to keep it straight. But, anyways, you will see that it's called fine thread. You will see that Coats carries it, and they carry it. It's got a different color cap.
Is it teal?
They're over there on that lower rack. You'll see them, and
Oh no, it's purple.
purple or teal. One of them is the stretch fab thread, and the other one is look at and see what it's called, fine or fine.
Jewel Judy. Oh, I'll come back.
Okay, you come.
It is the Jewel Judy, like your normal Jewel Judy XP, but it's fine, and you can see that like the spool. Let's give that a second. The spool in the label on the top has like the light purple, the lavender on it. And it does say fine, but if you're scanning quickly, that's what you're looking for.
And recently, that went out of focus. Recently, they have gone to calling it also paper piecing thread. Don't ask me why, but anyways, that's what they've done. So you may see it under that moniker. You can also buy fine threads from Superior. Superior has a whole line and a lot of colors. Coats doesn't have as many colors in the fine. And I'm sure you'll be able to find it in Gutermann and Mettler as well. So it'll just depend where you get the best selection and supplies. But you want the fine thread because what happens with lawn or a lightweight, like a habitai silk, if you stitch with a regular thread, construction thread, the actual seam will pucker. You'll start getting a puckering in your seam because the thread is just too heavy for where you're putting it. It needs to be compatible with the actual textile. So, yes, and the reason that I put in the newsletter, and I think a lot of you who follow us every week know why, and I put in the newsletter that the cottons were not from China. And apparently, a couple of people who are not aware of what's going on with slave labor in China thought that I might have been
being not as kind as
not being kind to Chinese
because
people.
we are excited. She is very excited. I found it, and it's not from China. I'm very excited.
Yeah. And so it's not, and I'm not gonna make this my platform for social reform, but it is disconcerting to me that I would buy any goods, including textiles, from people who were being forced into slavery. I was shocked that it's even happening in modern times, but the United States has put a ban against cottons from China because they are produced by the Uyghurs, who are a Muslim population. And you can do your own research, just Google
Well,
it.
and we had to too because you were buying the fabric. Fabric was coming in.
And then all
we
of a
want
sudden,
more fabric. Oh, you can't have that. Okay, I'll go to somebody else. Oh, nope, we don't have that. And nobody was really explaining. They were just saying, no, we don't have it. And Janet's
Yeah.
like, well, what's going on? And finally, it was brought up, and we had to do the research and everything
Yeah.
on it. But so yeah, it's not out there for everybody to know. But that is why so excited to find this beautiful, beautiful fabric and have it be something we feel good about buying.
Right, right. But anyways, we're excited and we love these, and we've already worked with them, and they're every bit as nice as any lawn we've purchased at higher prices. So it's a good deal.
Win win.
Yeah,
Win
that's
win
what I
win.
said. I got very excited. Good price, a good origin, and beautiful prints. Really beautiful prints. And they had so many, it was hard to choose. I had to narrow it down
But did you really?
to 10. I narrowed it to 10. Yeah, not really. Mm,
Yes, so we're very excited about that if you haven't seen those on the website yet.
right. And the fabrics are available in the kit, which is a sew along, or by the yard. So, there's quite a few people I recognize had bought the kit in the past, bought the yardage today on some of the ones that were in the newsletter. So there is a newsletter out there, and we do archive our newsletters on the website. And if you want to read the article about the China, it's on there. So if you just go to our website and click on newsletter, you'll find the archived newsletters. The vast majority of them will be there.
Right, and Margaret says she loves your color choices. Um,
Well, thank you,
yes, and it
Margaret.
is hard to narrow down, but that is a good thing about we've done a lot. And if you're new here, because I know we have a couple new people, we've done a lot, and you can find it on YouTube of making alterations to your pattern, making your sloper, making your muslin, and working off of that. So once you find the pattern and the fit that you like, whether it be the Islander shirt, the everybody shirt, the whatever, Janet is always sourcing these fabrics. So like you could get in a couple new ones every year, and you already have that pattern ready
Yeah.
for you, and just get the new fabric for the
Well,
season.
and then also on YouTube, we have a series in the playlist called Stop the Insanity. And that's where we show you to take the pattern once you've got it fitted and how you can just make the changes. In other words, you got a short sleeved, lovely little camp shirt pattern, but you love the shirt so much, but you want long sleeves. How do you do that? How do you change that? Or maybe you want to change the collar a little bit, or add darts or whatever. Those kind of things are all possible, and especially once you've gotten a fit. And most
Yeah.
of us are over a certain age, and that's when fit becomes even more difficult because things aren't where they used to be, and your body has changed and settled into different things. So, getting all of that into a pattern takes a little bit of patience. But once you do, why reinvent the wheel and have to do it all over again with the next garment you make?
Right.
So, look for that if you haven't seen it, the Stop the Insanity series on our YouTube channel. And we've got quite a few things in the playlist, including fitting. So during COVID, we started with the Knit Fit series and Sew the Proper Fit, where we show you how to take a sloper pattern and get that proper fit. And then once you get that proper fit, you can turn the sloper into just about anything you want, or you can use the sloper to compare it against a purchase pattern and make those changes before you cut the fabric and know that it's going to work. It's not no more guesswork after that. So that's kind of exciting because one of the big conundrums in sewing, and I've been teaching for quite a number of years now, and it's always the problem, and that is fitting. No one taught us how to fit. They taught us how to construct. And so fitting becomes a bigger issue for some of us than others, but eventually it's an issue for everybody. So that's an important little thing that we want to demystify. So take a look at either, Sew the Proper Fit or the Knit Fit series or the Woven Bodice series, and also the Stop the Insanity. All of those will give you some great tips on how to stop having to reinvent the wheel every time you sew, and take the guesswork out of, is it going to fit? Am I going to have to throw this one away too? Or only wear it around the house? I've heard those. I'll keep it. I'll just wear it around.
Wear it around the house. Huh? All right, so we need to put in a good word at the IRS because when Cassie gets her taxes back, she has an Islander shopping spree ready.
Good for you, Cassie.
And
have you already filed? I noticed. I looked at my calendar. Oh my gosh, that's coming up.
okay, so Joni wants to know, what about adding a stand to the collar on the camp shirt or the jean jacket?
Okay, so to add a stand to the collar, this pattern comes with that. So you could, this is called a convertible collar, which means there is no stand, and the collar is sewn into the facing here, and it just flips back and makes a notch collar. That's called a convertible collar. The collar with the collar stand is also part of this pattern. So you have those two options in the same pattern. So once you get the shoulders and the bodice to fit and everything, then it's just a matter, well, do I want the convertible collar or do I want the collar stand? And know this, you don't have to put the collar on. You can just put the collar stand on, and then you have a nice little stand-up collar. So you have three collar options that way. There are tutorials on adding a collar stand to a neckline, and let's say that you're working with one of the sloper patterns and you're turning it into a blouse 1301 and you want a collar stand, then you would refer to Pattern Making Made Easy, and it will give you the step-by-step directions.
That's a book by Connie Crawford.
Yes, and we carry it. And you will just follow step-by-step directions on how to create that collar stand according to the measurements of the neckline of the actual shirt that you are trying to add it to. Okay, anything else? We're low on questions today, and that's okay. Does anybody have questions about any kind of sewing that we could answer today if we don't have them about our particular topic? We love to go off topic, as Jessica says.
It is Pattern Making Made Easy, Leslie, and I can link it for you. Give me 1 second and I'll put it in the comments. And I want to read this comment. It's not a question, but talking about the Stop the Insanity series. Pam has been with us for a long time now. Thank you, Pam. And she is saying, we can save so much money by using Stop the Insanity, so I can order more fabric. So she found an old Berta magazine with patterns, and she used her sloper to use the design, but made it to fit herself. That was a challenge. Those patterns have a lot of sizes. All right, I'm going to link that book for...
Okay.
And while I'm doing that, Aline?
Yes, Aline. Hi, Aline.
She wants to know if you'll show the flowers in sage, the fabric.
I'd be happy to. Those floral do not have crayons on them because it was, again, a group that we just could not find a really good match. So... how am I doing, Jess?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably fine. Hold on.
How am I doing, Aline?
I am just trying to put this link for the book for Leslie, and let's see. Yes, it looks good. Looks good. It sent it.
The thing I like about this is not just the flowers on the print. The print has a irregular background to it as well, so it adds even more interest. And you can see it really well in the other two colors on camera better, but it is there on this one as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, here. This is heavy, guys. You need to buy some of this.
Well, that one, this one's a little bit lighter. This one we sold a lot of, the indigo. This one's not quite as heavy. But this one, I think it shows off that variegated background a little better.
It does. You could see it in the green, but now that you see it in the blue, I think you would pick up on it better. I'm just gonna move it around so you guys can see.
Yeah, we might as well throw this one up there.
Get my, oops, sorry. Get my arm workout. Yep.
With the Islander shirt kit, we include the light and stable interfacing. And that's as heavy a interfacing as you want to use in this lawn. So if you're not purchasing the kit, consider the light and stable as your interfacing. You may already have a stash of it, but if not, we obviously always have it on hand. But that's the interfacing. And when we do the collar, we put it in both collars, the collar and the collar facing. But because it's light and stable, it doesn't overwhelm the lawn. If you put too heavy of an interfacing in the lawn, it's going to be very obvious where that interfacing is. And that's not what you want. You just want some nice structure. And that's what you'll get with this light and stable. It's in the whole front of the shirt as well as in both sides of the collar. And we even recommend putting it in the hem. So, and this is kind of a fun pattern because the hem is done before the shirt's put together. And so then you just whip the shirt up and it's done before you know it.
Okay, so Leslie's asking about the lawn. How does it wash? Do you have to iron it? And should they wash it before constructing their garment?
Okay. Yes, you should wash it. Or I don't wash, I pre-shrink. There's a difference. And when I pre-shrink, if you have a cycle on your machine that's just rinse and spin, do that. Don't use hot water, real hot water. You can use warm. And don't use any soap. The thing is, this fabric comes from the mills with some sizing in it. And you want the sizing in it because it makes it easier to control. So it's easier to handle as you're making it. So, and you just don't even need to put it through the wash, that's all. You just want to put it through the water and then put it through the dryer. This came out of the dryer looking like this. We did not press it. As a matter of fact, I looked and we should have pressed the hem because you can see the hem's not crisp because we didn't get to that. But it doesn't need a lot of pressing. It just depends on how fussy you are. You know, it's like the cotton sheeting that I bought. We got these wonderful artsy cotton sheetings. And I said to the woman I was purchasing for, well, does it need pressing? Because it, you know, kind of looks like it would. And she goes, and she and the other woman, one was probably in her 40s, the other one in her 30s, they don't even own an iron. They don't even own an iron, ladies. She said, I never iron anything. And I kind of went, oh my. But she knows how to steam it by putting it in the shower. And which we've all done that, especially traveling from time to time. So anyway, no, it's not a wrinkled mess when it comes out of the dryer. It comes out pretty smooth. I prefer just to hit it with a little press here and there, but I would pre-shrink it. It's just a little bit of shrinkage, but even a little bit sometimes can make a big difference.
Cuddy wants to know, is the shirt behind you the Islander shirt?
Yes.
If so, do you use the chest measurements?
Yes. Yes. And take a look. You will find the finished garment measurements. thought I saw a pattern sitting here a minute ago.
Oh, there's patterns everywhere. It's not when you need them.
Yeah.
Or the one you want.
And let me see what finished garment measurements we have on that one. Okay. Yes, we have the finished chest measurement, the width at the bottom, and the length. So you want to check all of those. But with the chest, let me just tell you, and it's very generous. This is a loose fitting shirt. So the medium is for someone with the body measurements of 36 to 40-inch chest. But the finished garment is 46.75. So that's a lot. It would be 10 inches of ease if you were a 36 chest. If I was a 36 chest, I'd go down a size because I wouldn't want 10 inches of ease. But 4 to 6 inches of ease in a garment like this is standard because it's not supposed to fit tight. It's supposed to be loose. That's also why it's comfortable and cool. Okay, did I answer the full question or did I go off the top?
No, I think you did it.
Okay, good.
You answered the question and then some, but on topic. So,
woo!
Gold star for you.
Yeah, I'm winning. Winning.
Okay, any other questions about what Janet's done with the cardigan or the lawn?
Another good thing to know is that we also have this in junior sizes 2 to 14.
Oh, yes.
Kid sizes. So you can make a father, son, a grandfather, father, grandson, whatever. We did that, and we've had lots of fun with that. So I've got, at one point I had 3 of them, my husband and 2 of the grandsons with matching shirts. And then we had Emmett and his dad with matching shirts. It's a fun thing, and it only takes a little bit more fabric depending on the size of the kid. But anyways, those patterns are available. We don't have the kids' kits, but it's constructed the same as the adults, so just follow along the same way.
All right, couple comments on the color of the cardigan that you're wearing, and we do have this.
Yes, I'm the first one. I'm the first one to use the orange. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
So if you're interested, that is on the website. Janet's T-shirt, oddly enough, is not a fabric that we have. It usually is, but I mean, you can't deny how nice it looks with the cardigan. So she wore that today, but it is rare for her to not be in.
Well, it's rare, period. You know, people always say, do you make all your clothes? And of course, no, I don't. But in the last year, I've lost like 35 pounds. And I didn't have time to make a whole new wardrobe. So I have purchased several pieces, but it's like I purchased the shirt, but I made the jacket. And, so I'll be purchasing a few little pieces here and there, but I will always be making some of my garments as well.
She also likes to buy garments to figure out how to make them herself. It's the truth.
Well, yeah, you see some technique. It's really interesting. You want to know more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Our customers often benefit from that.
Yes, yes. Well, we do like to see how they're putting things together in the garment factories, because that's what we're noted for, is our better and faster construction techniques from the factories. And because we've got enough experience, pretty much we can take a look and say, oh, that's how they did it, and then reproduce it for you. So that's always fun too.
Well, and it's also nice. It's like you buy a shirt. I've done this before. I have this favorite t-shirt, right? And it's just simple and it's easy and it's cheap. So why am I going to make a t-shirt? Until I buy it one year. Oh, the next year they have new colors. Oh, I'll buy some more. The next year, oh, this is not the same shirt.
They had to change the
They changed
pattern.
the shirt on me. It looks like the same shirt. And you put it on, and it's not the same shirt. So it is nice then to take those favorite items and recreate
Yeah,
them.
right, right. What was it that you liked the
Yeah.
most about it? I know for you it's the back length, and
Yeah.
how does it fits in the shoulders and things. And it is hard to find something that is feels so perfect for your body shape because we all have different shapes. Then they go and discontinue it. It's
Or try to pass it off as the same, and it's not.
Yeah, well, and that's a lot of times because they changed factories. They changed head designers. They changed buyers. Whatever it is, everybody's got to put a new spin on it. Like software. All of a sudden, they want to change your software, and you open up your phone, and it doesn't work the same anymore. Oh. So that happens with patterns as well.
Yes. All right. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else other than ASG. I know some of
Oh,
you are waiting to learn about ASG. It should be any time now. There, maybe the word on the street was maybe mid-April, but no commitment yet. However, they did put up this last week the bios of all the teachers that are going to be there. So you could go and take a look and see what teachers are going to be there.
ASG.org. If you're not familiar with the acronym, American Sewing Guild is what we're talking about. Janet's going to be teaching with them in New York.
In July. And they just click on their conference logo on their homepage and it'll take you to the information. And part the way down, there's just a little link that says this year's conference teachers or something like that. You can click on that. But it's not going to give you anything about the classes or the schedule of the classes yet. But it is coming soon.
Okay, and then to answer another question, Monique wants to know, can you mention the interfacing for the lawn again? What weight?
It's called Light and Stable, and we carry it.
And I just linked it in the comments for you, Monique.
You will love it. It's, I think, something like $8.99 a yard. It's 60 inches wide. So it's quite a bit wider than commercial interfacing. And it's actually a knit fabric, not a composite of fibers like the ones that you see at Joann's.
$8.99, 60 inches wide for 1 yard.
And it adheres in just seconds. It adheres really quickly. It's just a great all-purpose light and stable. But it does come from the garment industry, as do our other two interfacings as well. So you're going to find our interfacings are wider and much higher quality. In that they always stick and they always stay stuck. And no, they don't shrink, but most interfacings don't shrink. That's a fallacy. But having them stay stuck is the key, and not getting the orange peel and things. And you get that a lot from the less expensive or the interfacings they developed for the home sewing industry. So these you will find are superior.
Okay, I want to make a clarification on the orange that Janet's wearing that everybody loves. Because Arlene said she couldn't find it on the website, but it's in the kits, right? It's not on its own.
Right,
Which
right.
I'm guessing that is why.
Yeah, we're not able to sell this stuff yardage yet because, as you can well imagine, it is the nicest one. For number one, it's one of the nicest French terries I've ever found. And because people are having a hard time getting cotton, because previously most of it was produced in China, that my source is running out of this. And they'll have another shipment, but not until later this summer. So we're kind of hoarding it for the kits right now. But hopefully once the supply opens up, we'll be able to have it for yardage as well.
And if you've already bought the cardigan kit, there is a repeat kit so that you don't have to buy the whole thing, but you do get the fabric
and the
The
ribbing
ribbing. Like,
and the label.
yes. So that is a way to get it too. If you already have purchased the kit, you don't have to get the pattern again.
Right. And if you were really wanting to get it, you can see what how much yardage comes in each kit, and you could get it that way because it's either 2.5, or 3 yards in a kit, and it comes with the cuffs. So that's what you'd get in the repeat.
Yeah. But for now it's in the kits, the cardigan kits, and
Yeah.
that's where you'll find it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're going to open that up. The only thing they had a lot left of was the black, and so I was
Which the
getting,
black is perfect.
but I
I
think
think a lot of people don't find it fun.
yeah,
And obviously going into the spring or whatever, you're looking for like your teals, your orange, your pinks, like all
yeah,
that sort of stuff. But don't discredit the black because
it's year
I
round.
mean it's year round.
Goes with
It
everything.
goes with everything.
Yeah. So anyway, but orange is the new black. Okay, no, it's not. Anyway, we're gonna keep our eye out because I love French terry, and this is a really nice cotton French terry. I like the lighter weight knit French terries too, but for a jacket weight, this stuff
Yeah.
is just
I mean,
excellent.
there's so many, and I don't know. I over the last however many years, I've worn so many just like open cardigans. I had a sweater one on earlier, and it's just. I mean, I may be a little picky sometimes, but it's hard to find. Sometimes they're too lightweight. So like right now, I could wear this outside. I'm good to go. I have an outfit. I'm good to go. Sometimes they're too lightweight. They're too clingy. This just hangs perfectly. It's not too hot. It's not too lightweight.
Yeah, you're not all buttoned
Yeah.
up in it. Yeah. And French terry has such a beautiful drape and comfort to it because of the way that it is woven with that loop side. But the loop side is what makes it such a nice fabric, but it also is what we find, and a lot of other designers have found, what makes it fun to play with that loop side. And the other day, one of the high end designers that I follow, or not designers, but brands, uh, their big email ad was luxurious French terry.
Hmm.
And they were touting it all. They had 3 or 4 garments out of French terry on this one site. And it, again, a high end site where everything's at least 3 figures. And so I think it's like kind of a thing right now, too.
And we have it.
Yeah.
So there you
There you go.
go.
As long as it lasts, we have it.
um. Yes, Bernice said yes. The feel of this French terry is great. Now to decide what color next. It is. It's hard to decide, and especially with this pattern, you can have different lengths, different. You can have the pockets or not the pockets. Like Janet has did a little mishmash of every little piece,
I did a
and
little Frankenstein of all 3 versions.
you can make them
yeah.
all a little different. So then you can make them all a little different in a different color. And
Sure.
if you have trouble with decisions, then it might take you a minute. But it's definitely worth it to try out some of the different colors and the different styles.
And you know what? Just take a look at your closet.
Yeah.
What colors of t-shirts and other things that you would wear with it do you have? And then you can say, oh,
At least then you know you have something that you're going to wear because you already have something to wear with it.
yeah.
All right, so if you have any further questions about the fabrics, the kits, the techniques, literally anything Islander related, email is the best way to get a hold of us, islandersewing@comcast.net. Check out our YouTube channel for a lot of that stuff that we talked about today, as well as the ultimate pattern guide for the cardigan. And
Yeah, and if you're curious and you haven't purchased the kit yet, go look at the guide.
yeah,
The guide's on YouTube. Anybody can take a look at the guide, and that might sway you one way or the other. Say, oh, yeah, this is for me. I see. Okay. And it's very doable, people. If you are not don't consider yourself in the expert category of sewing, this is not expert category. This is just, I don't even know if it rises very much above beginner, because the pockets put on raw edge. It couldn't be easier. You know,
There's no zippers.
there's no zippers, there's no buttonholes, there's no darts. You know, it's just straight sewing and laying pieces on top of each other and some serging. So it's a pretty quick make.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let us know if you need anything. We'll be here in the office, and until next Tuesday is at 2.
Yeah, and as always, you know that you can reach us by email at islandersewing@comcast.net. That is the very best way to get your questions answered. And that's what we're here for. We want to help you with your sewing. So, whatever questions you might have, we may answer them through email. We might put them in the newsletter. We may make a whole show about them. So, let us know. How can we help you? And for Islander Sewing Systems, I'm Janet Prey. What's your name?
You always say my name.
Okay. This is Jessica Johnson. I'm Janet Prey, and we're happy to be here. We'll see you again the first Tuesday of May. We'll see you next month. But we're here every day, so let us know if you need anything.
Bye.
Bye.